This is one of the hardest puzzles in chess. It looks like white is completely winning here because white has 3 extra pawns, but it is black's turn in the game. And if black is able to find the right sequence of moves, then he can easily win this game. I know you are completely shocked, but yes, that's true. Black can easily win this game. So feel free to pause this video for a moment and try to find out the best moves for black. So in order to find the best move, you have to first understand that you don't want to give any initiative to the white player. And because you want to take the initiative in your hand, you have to play a move which forces white to respond to your move. So obviously that move would be a check. So you will first begin with checking the white king, but on which square you should go? There are so many squares from which you can check the white king. Like the queen can come over here, or maybe over here, or over here, or to this square, or even to this square. So there are 5 possible squares from which you can check the white king. So which would be the correct square? Obviously if you come to this square, then you will get captured. So this one is eliminated. And now out of these 4 squares, if you give a check via this square, then the king can escape to this square. So for that reason, we will eliminate this square as well. If you get your queen to this square, then the white king will be able to escape via this square. So that is why even this square is eliminated. If you give check via this square, then the white king can escape to this square. So that is why even this is eliminated. So now the only good square for black is the f5 square. So black will first check the white king by getting his queen to the f5 square. Now why f5 square is good? Because when you get your queen to f5, the king is not able to escape anywhere. He is stuck on the side of the board, and that is why he is forced to block this check with his queen. And now what? Should we trade queens? Obviously no, you will end up losing the game because white has 3 pass pawns. So black needs to give one more check. So black can give check via this square or via this square. So if black comes to this square, then the king will be able to escape via this square. So that would not be a good move. Therefore, the good move is queen f3 check. Now, since the white king is not able to move anywhere, he is forced to block this check. So he can either block with this pawn or with this queen over here. So if white blocks the check with his pawn, then that would be a blunder because black will be able to finish off white's game with queen f7 check, queen interposes, and now queen takes queen would be a checkmate. Let's go back. Therefore, white is forced to block this check with his queen. Now here we have to stay cautious because if we make the mistake of checking the white king on the f7 square, then white king will be able to escape via this square. Therefore, black should now check the white king via this square. So queen d5 check, white is again forced to block this check. And now here is the key moment. What should black play? Well, I know a lot of you must be thinking that we should try to eliminate this pawn by getting our queen either to this square or to this square or maybe to this square so that our queen can attack this pawn from these squares. But going after this pawn will simply give the initiative to white, and white will then be easily able to finish off our game. So therefore, you have to find a move which does not give the initiative to white. You have to play a move which puts white in a zugzwang situation, and that move is queen to e6. Now why queen to e6 is a good move? Well, white pieces are now in a zugzwang position because the white king is still not able to move anywhere because of the placement of this black queen. This pawn over here is anyway blocked, so he cannot move. So if white decides to move this pawn, then we have seen how white easily gets checkmated with queen f7 check, queen blocks, and now that would be a checkmate. So white cannot move this pawn ahead. Another option is that white can try to move his queen to somewhere else. Let's say if he moves here, then that would be a mistake too because white will get checkmated with queen h6. Let's go back. And if white moves the queen over here, then white gets checkmated again. Let's go back. Also, white queen is not in a position to check black's king in any way because if he tries to do that, then he will lose his queen. All of these squares are covered by black's pieces. So then what should white play? So white is now in a zugzwang position. He cannot move all of these pieces, so he is forced to move his b pawn. So he can either play b3 or b4. but it doesn't matter whatever he plays, we can again put white in the zugzwang position. Let's see what happens if he plays b3. Now what is white exactly trying to do? Well, a lot of players here might be tempted to capture this pawn, thinking ki, hey, this is a pass pawn, let's stop it by capturing it. But if black does the mistake of capturing this pawn, then he will quickly lose this game because white has 2 extra pass pawns and you have now given the initiative to white. So white will keep checking your king and will change his position of the king and queen until both of these pawns promote on the board. Let's see how that would look. So therefore, black cannot make the mistake of capturing this free pawn over here. So what should black play? Well, black will again play a series of moves which will again put white in a zugzwang situation. Starting with queen e2 check. Black can't block the check with his pawn because you have already seen how black can quickly checkmate white then. So therefore, he will block the check with his queen and now queen e5 check, white blocks again. And now queen e6 again, making sure white's pieces remains immobile. So now the only sensible move that white can here play is b4, and again black will continue with the same sequence of moves. Queen e2 check, white blocks, queen e5 check, white blocks, and now again queen e6, putting white in a zugzwang position one more time. So he will now push this pawn to b5 and now again check, blocks, and now instead of getting our queen over here, this time we will eat up this pawn. It's a check, so white blocks again, and now again we'll go back here, white blocks, and now again check, white blocks, and now queen to e6. And with this series of moves, we have successfully eliminated the b pawn, and now it is white's turn again. White doesn't have his b pawn to push further, and now he's forced to move either this pawn or maybe make a random move with his queen. We have already seen how white gets checkmated if he plays g4, so he's forced to move his queen. But whichever place the queen goes, white is quickly losing. He cannot check the black king because all of these squares are under black's control. Anywhere the queen moves in order to check the black king, she will get captured. And if the queen tries to go on other side of the board to any one of these places, anywhere else, then white will lose to queen g6 checkmate. So white is in a terrible position now, and whatever move white is gonna play is completely losing for white despite having 2 extra pawns. Kudos to black's brilliant moves in this game. Do not forget to like this video and do subscribe to my channel. And now it's time for the question of the day. Here the material is equal, but as you can see, 2 of white's pieces are attacking this rook, while this rook is protected only once by this knight over here. So it was white's turn in the game, so he gets excited and quickly captures this rook thinking that he has won material. And now it is black's turn. So what should black play? Should black capture back this knight over here, or can he play a stronger move in the game? Let me know your answers in the comments box and I'll see you in the next video.